Wow. So many powerful testimonies that I can look back on and say that God has just proven that He is God. If you've ever had that moment in your life where you just wondered, are you really there, God? And over the years, I've seen me run completely away from Him and Him come after me. Today I was talking to a friend, and I could go day after day, but just today I was thinking about, I was sitting with my pastor and just saying, how does a girl like me go from being the woman at the well, the person who had everything possibly going wrong? I was doing everything possible that you could do wrong, that could have affected my family in such ways. I can't even believe it. How does God take someone like me and just turn my life around so much that I see the whole opposite end of life? Only God can affect that. This weekend I was spending some time, and to some of you it may not be a big deal, but I was spending my time, I was at the chateau on the lake, and I was looking out on that waterfront, and I was seeing the mountains there, and I was looking at that, and I asked the question, how does someone like me get from sleeping in a car to sitting in a window looking at this beautiful scenery? How does someone like me come from, could have been called every other name in the book, to being called a woman of God? And I start to understand that it's because only when God comes in, He changes your name from Abram to Abraham. And He changes us around. And I just thought about it, and I said, things that people think are trash, things that people think are not worth it, God comes after. He runs after. He runs after. And I just wanted to say, so when it's difficult times like we're seeing sometime out in the atmosphere and things are just going a little bit crazy and you don't think that you can see, I know that in the midst of the strongest storm, God is coming after us. So in the midst of a time like this, when everything looks crazy and crumbled, that's when I know the greatest gifts and the greatest miracles are going to happen. I want to read something to you. And that's just like a little teeny taste of what God can do. Jesus says, this is the kind of fast that I desire. Remove the heavy chains of oppression. And I was thinking about that, and I didn't even get past that point. I read all of it, but remove the heavy chains. Allow them. In order to do that, it's something about just staying in God's presence that causes all of that to lay down so that He can rest us. And even when we won't arrest it ourselves, He will be right there running after us. And then when that happens, it says, see, I'm reading from my book here, I'm sorry. When that happens, it says, let me put my glasses on, I'm sorry. I just want to hear this because I think somebody needs to know this. This says, then His favor will bathe us in sunlight until you're like the dawn bursting through the dark night. And then suddenly your healing will manifest. Let me tell you something. I was born with lungs too small to be breathing and singing and doing all this stuff. Doctors were saying there's no way. If you get over 125 pounds, you won't even be able to breathe. And I'm probably over 125 pounds. I remember thinking to myself, God, you are amazing. How do you deliver us? And it's because we choose to lay everything at the feet of Jesus. And when we do that, then a powerful thing happens. So I just want to invite you to lay down any burden, anything that might be heavy, anything that might be on your mind, anything that might just be causing. And let me tell you, they'll come back. But when they come back, I want to invite you to lay everything at the feet of Jesus. The same God who turned the women into mighty women of God, who turns water into wine, is waiting to just turn lives around. And one more piece. And that is, yesterday I sat in the front and I looked back and I saw my children filing into the back of the church. And they took up almost a complete row. And if you could understand how long I'm praying and watching God do this. Do you get me? Lay every oppressed thing down and trust Him. Trust Him. And right here is that place where you get to do this every Monday night. So hallelujah. Okay, come on. Okay, come on now. First, I want you to stand up because there's something about honoring God and just standing. You know, there's a fire that burns inside of us that's so deep when we can understand that this mighty God walks right into the room with us, that we can honor him and we can bow before him, we can stand before him. And God, I just declare you are God. You are a good God, able to turn us from left to right, change our direction. God, you are right there guiding us, and you never let us fail. Even when we press in hard to fail, you are right there to catch us. So God, I just declare that every chain, every dark thing that surrounds any of us, God, we will lay it at your feet. And I want you to just take your hands right now and take it out of your mind and out of your heart and just put it at the feet of Jesus. And God, we just leave it right here for you, God, because we know you have greater things for us. So God, we thank you, and we reach for the greater glory, the greater glory. Pour out, God. Thank you.